to that, okay, what is it? What was it talking about? Like just testing. It's as if you are reciting. You can do that. If you want, you know that it can be best for you to know the material. But normally, you see, according to this system, they say, okay, you survey the body, then you ask yourself questions from what you have surveyed, because the survey, what you are doing is you are trying to familiarize yourself with the content. That's before you read, right? Surveying, and you don't notice what the content is, you have noticed what the difficult parts are, you ask yourself questions, you write difficult questions, then you read, you try to answer those questions when you are reading, then you try to recite of what you have been reading. After that, then you review together now everything. While you are reviewing, you write a little your own summary of what you have done, right? You have been reading, and try to test yourself to see if you can, summarize it from your own head, right? Or something like that, right? So we are dealing with I know there's a very late comer, our colleague over there. We are we've been doing, it's going through a reading technique called the SQ3R system. So that's what we've been doing. So the SQ3R system is one of the approaches to study, according to whoever studied it. So say the S survey, question, then read, recite, then review. That's the approach. So they say if you are going to follow that approach, it has been proven to say it's an effective way. Instead of you just wasting time. Because sometimes you waste time by reading. You appear that you are reading, you feel like you are reading, you go to exams, you start to slap yourself that I read this, but why am I not remembering it? Because you just go through edge, full stop, then you say, I've read. You didn't test yourself. So this one, maybe the good part, as you can see, there are elements whereby you can engage yourself, because of people who have studied let me say studying. They say even listening. They say listening, the good way of listening is what is called active listening. Yeah? If you have good listeners who just sit for 1 hour, 2 hours without speaking, without doing anything, the probability is they can start dreaming, right? They are too comfortable where they are, right? But if you say 30 minutes, 20 minutes, can you tell me something? They're going to be alert. Oh. So everybody will be alert, or after and you ask questions. So that's what is called the active listening. Listening, because you are able to engage. So all the reading is the same. They say there's the active reading. So this is one of the approach of active reading, whereby you are not just reading through and pause. You are reading, you are testing yourself, trying to ask questions, go back. All those are the approaches that people who ever studied the material say is an effective way of doing the thing. So the bottom line, as I say on the review, is you are still checking testing your memory, right? Testing your memory that if you really indeed you have taken up the information that you have, and if you know that the materials that you have been reading are complex, that you are not understanding, is whereby you can even write it down, the ones that you can ask the lecturer, right? Because we are that shy to say, maybe there's a person who, even not just a lecturer, even a person that you know, that knows something. You know, test is asking the question, I don't understand this part, right? So that could be important. What else? Make sure that you plan enough time to do all the steps, right? Because all these are going to be depending on the time. Because if you are saying, I'm going to follow this step, the question is, how much time do you have? You ask yourself. You have got the 2 hours. Okay. So if it's 2 hours, these are 5 steps. How many minutes are you going to be taking on each step? I've already said that the first part, which is survey, They say good survey cannot go beyond 10 minutes. So already out of the minutes that you have, 10 minutes is a survey one. At least 10 minutes. It's approximately good amount of time to go through material. If you go beyond, say, 10 minutes to 10, 15, like 30, nobody can say that there is a book. I was surveying a book for 30 minutes or for 1 hour. You are not surveying. 1 hour is not the time for that. Is reading. You are reading the book, right? So for you to be effective, they say you can plan your time, because if you don't plan your time, you have the whole period of studying that you want elapsed without you finishing the steps, right? Basically, about 2 hours, but sunafike ku review, right? So it's important to say if you want to use this, to have that plan. And also, as I said, you need to make it a habit, because it's all about a habit. This can be a good approach, but to say that you just use it when the exams are near, it might appear not to be a good approach. But according to here, they say, make it a weekly issue. They say, okay, I'm reading this week. After that week, period or short period of time or days, right? You should be having a specific time to review, right? Maybe you have a specific day, a little bit go browse, but the review, for example, maybe it's a chapter that you cannot finish it in 1 day. At least after that period that you know that I'm going to finish this after 2 days, whatever, make a review weekly or some other days to make sure that the material are sinking in and you are mastering the materials. Okay, I think to finish this up, I think the material for me is finished. But to finish this up, the one we are doing, well, like we had is the SQ3R. But recently, somebody added something, and he or she came up with the SQ4R reading system. And this one, the only difference is that there is an addition of reflect. If you can see this one, the survey question, read, reflect, recite, and review. This one, it means there are like 4 R's. So this one, I think somebody wanted just to say, okay, no, there can be an additional area to make sure that you get the material, right? So the reflect was added. If you can, maybe because sometimes you might be wondering, you came across this SQ4R and wondering why do we have 4 R's? So it's because of the reflect. And on the reflect, this is what the person was saying, like we are coming from the read, right? So you're saying after you have read the material, you should more or less like relate the material to things that you know, right? For example, you're reading something about maybe a theory, talking about something, then okay, try to take that theory and link the theory into a real life situation. In the real life, this scenario is similar to what scenario, right? Then you try to say, oh, it's similar to this, right? So they say, how does this fit with the information you already know? You ask yourself, did you know something? Okay, what you know with what you have read, is it where is it leaking, right? How can you use this information in your life, right? The information I'm using here, they're talking about mathematics, geometry. They're telling us more how you can subtract 100, how you can subtract 100 from 90. How can this in real life happen? How can you subtract 100 things from 90 things? But those are the questions whereby you are trying to reason. It's not like you are reasoning. So if you do that, it means you'll be able to connect with what is being read. Because for sure, there is an explanation. So if you are trying to reflect and connect with those thoughts, and you're saying that you're not getting the idea, it means it's going to be helping you to go through the material to find out, okay, where is the connection in this text, right? So it's all, as you can see here, it's just reflecting it with all this, maybe how it fits with your life, how it fits with your career, right? How is it related to schooling, right? How can it be used maybe to teach someone? So this is an additional section that was added through, I mean, by this now much more broader technique of SQ4R reading system, right? But in terms of the others, they are the same, right? The same section parts that, I mean, steps that we already talked about, right? So that is about this. So at this juncture, I think we can go back to where we came from, right? We are under intensive reading skills, and we are dealing with the SQ3R reading technique, right? And usually, as I said, this one, it helps more if you have got a complex text that need strategic approach to studying that text, right? So that's what we have been going through. And to recap, a gentleman called Francis Robinson was the one who came up with this idea in 1970 with the aim of, as I talk about that, to help the people who are now approaching scientific text in terms of going through the study and maximizing the process of studying. Right, so that's what I wanted to talk about, and at this juncture, I can give you to be writing something on here at the same time to be asking some questions if there are some questions on this approach we have talked about. Any question? Is it a good approach? I don't know how you are seeing it. Can it be a very useful one, or is it useless? I know we have been doing it something like that before. We have gone through primary school, secondary school. We have never been told how to read. About what muzuwerenga, right? Muzuwerenga, wakati kuwerenga ndio should be sit somewhere, ulicite waneka buku. Ndio kuti uwerenga, eh? Okay. All those people are reading. Afterwards, out of those people who are reading, we got number 1, we got number 100. All of them, they were reading, they were silent. Why is somebody becoming number 1, number 2? So it differs. I think you remember most of the, I don't know nowadays, but in the past whereby you have some students or pupils, while you are done going home to eat your food, they'll be going to private studies, right? So they have more extra coaching, but the idea is the same, that when you are reading, you want to make sure that the materials have retained, you can retain material, you can recite the materials. Right, so what questions can you ask? If you can ask questions, let me ask questions, because you can't ask questions. What is the SQ-R3 or 3R technique of reading? What is it? 6 marks. If somebody can ask you. Because I could have given 20 marks when I say that the SQ3R technique is one of the popular reading techniques. Discuss, 20 marks. Those are the kind of questions that can pop up. So discuss, it means it's everything. You have to talk about it. What is it? In your opinion, do you think it's a helpful approach to reading? What's your opinion about it? Why do you think it's important? If you think that is important, as opposed to other ways you have been doing. Anyone, just randomly.
Because it helps you to understand the content.
Okay, it helps you to understand the content. How?
Okay, by first you start with the main idea of the book, and then you have questions. You create questions about the main point,
Content, okay.
and then you recite, you read to understand the content. And after you read, you
Right.
recite what you go back to recite what you have read. It helps you to understand.
Okay, okay. Right, okay.
And then you review the content.
Right. So, I mean, it means the way you are saying it help you to, you say, what? To understand the content, eh? So, you are like just agreeing with the whole steps, eh? The 5 steps approach, eh? Right? Yeah, because I'm saying, um, for myself, because as I said that I don't remember usually being told to say, okay, you are studying, then you should be writing some other. We don't usually do that, right? But it's one of the aspects, right? That is could be interesting, right? Because you end up reading, then you have to go back again. Now again, like, what did I write? Go back again. I know myself because I think let me just say that this was an approach that somebody formulated, right? But we can still add on something because I can add on something because of the age that we are living now. Eh? Because as I said that if you think about reading, if you think about reading, if you read about think about speaking, listening, it's so communication, the communication process, right? You have got something to say. I will give you something to. I mean, a chance to speak. You are agreeing more. So you should say something, right? So what I'm saying is because it's a communication process, we don't want to put it in neutral as the way it is because we know what distracts us. I'm teaching. Once you just switch on your focus on something, although somebody is teaching, you can't get it. You are reading, your focus is something. So I think in all this technique, what you're talking about, one of the elements that maybe the gentleman didn't talk about, right, is whereby to make sure that I think we have talked about it here, but I'm just trying to make sure that we link it up. Study the environment of studying, right? Because if you follow this approach, but you don't consider the environment where you are studying, and the environment where you are studying, there are distractions there. That method cannot work, right? You'll be struggling because you are doing this from nowhere. There's a car, you're doing this, there's a TV, you're doing this, and nowadays the most common, as I say, is a phone, whereby you even put it on the loud, like that sound you are hearing. That's what I'm talking about. There's a message from WhatsApp. So once there's a message on WhatsApp, who can resist a message from WhatsApp? To say, I was listening, there's a message on WhatsApp, I will not look at it. Who can claim here? All the time, when there's a WhatsApp message, the head will change and go there, right? You can even I don't know, but that's how powerful these the distractions like from the other areas are, especially of that. So I mean, they say in economics there's a way. I think you have done the economics here. You have a course of economics, you know it. who has done an economics course? Somebody should have done it, or maybe there's a word, a term in the economics, which is they say ceteris paribus. They use it more. My economics, economics. They use that. Ceteris paribus. They just means all the things remain constant. Distraction. That's what they do, right? So if anything can be okay, then this process can be much more effective. Make sure that there are no distractions to that. Right. I was about to tell her to tell herself, right? Then you're going out. Okay, she is going to say something when she's back before, although we are already done. What are we? Can we say we're almost done here? Almost done. Maybe I'm waiting for that gentleman. Yeah. Oh, I think you came a little bit late, eh? Did you come late? A little bit. Okay.
About what SQ3R and SQ4R. That means SQ4R is important than SQ3R.
No, it's like I mean, it's the example I could just say it's like the phones. Let me give an example of iPhones. iPhone, can we say the new iPhone, can the iPhone 14, is it the most important than my iPhone? Is it? No. I'm saying it is different. I don't think if you can say how many things can you do to the modern iPhone, and how many things can you do to the previous iPhone? But difference is how many are them? Are they to the extent that it is like it is also a new one? And usually I've been noticed my changes. There are two developments or three developments. The upgraded one. The things that you can do on the new one, you can find the previous one. You can also do that. Or maybe this one, you can do it maybe a little bit faster, right? Even in my cameras, whereby ina can do jump like in my minutes or 10 or my seconds. So usually it's just like an upgrade. We have been having three. The one who studied it we created the SQ3R. So this one was like the same one they use it, and just somebody added something. But if you can remove the addition of the one where we have talked about it can still be effective. But with our question, we could say that with the addition, it could be much more better. This is the new one. Because it is like it watches like extra as the way the phones are. The phones are. I think we've been seeing even in some other software they do that. They add something which is much more effective than the other one. The previous one you can do the same thing. When you use the new, you discover I think this one is much more easier, right? So if you observe what the addition was, and if you think, okay, if you can remove that addition, you know the material, but the additional one whereby is trying to make you relate to the real things could be much more better because even the application is easy to say this is not just theory. In the real life, it's a So it's something like that. We could say that it's much more better than the previous one. But the other one is also still effective. So the is not the effective, right? All right. Okay. Right. So you have already said that the new iPhone is much more better than the other one. Everybody said yes. It means we all need a new iPhone. Nobody can say, I don't want the new one. Why do the people want the new iPhone while the other one was already better one? Say no, 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 no. Okay. Maybe we'll see the new one. I don't know what else is new with the new iPhone. Right. But I believe that you go through this. Maybe if you can try to see if this is effective in your study. But this is what is all about this style of or technique of study. As I'm saying, that it will depend on the text that you have. If you know that according to this text, I can use this, you can use it. If you think that maybe it's not effective, I don't know. But it's touted to be an effective method, according to people who have said it. Right, so for today, this is what I wanted to talk about. I don't know if there's another question. I don't know if I answered your question because I was just moving around. Okay. If there is another question, or if it's not, then we can call it a day. I don't know if you have got another class apart from this. Yeah, but yeah, I think we can call it a day. And I will share. I don't know if the last one. Did I share the last topic? I don't know if I shared. I did it. Okay. I will. I will share the slides. But still, I encourage you to say you still search for other information, related information, to top up because I don't write everything in these slides. Right? Huh? You want the information? Sivuda so much. Zimavuda kupesa? Okay, but okay, I mean, it's all about knowing how to search about it. I know what is a problem, because some is a book. Look, you have to take inside something. That's where the problem is. But still, this is what we're talking about, what we are learning, how to extract the materials from a book. Huh? Right, but I will share. I will check even the last topic, and I will share on. Usually, I think I want to find out per photo. I'm hearing good kind of materials. I thought they uploaded. I gave someone to upload. So guys, I'm going to upload it. I will share WhatsApp, but I also check the person that I'm going to upload. Okay, so I think we can stop there. Yeah. Okay, this is gentleman somebody.